Namaste. We'll start with a small prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Simple calming. We're going to take up some shlokas 2.42, 2.43, 2.44 today. But before that, we have to just know what is what. A little introduction on the time when Mahabharata was written, on the context of what Krishna is speaking. Otherwise, what so happens with people's intellect is they try to fit in certain information according to their age, like millennial age. The postmodern era is the people of postmodern era, or the people of generation Z, don't really understand, really get the context until you go and delve into that period and then understand what's what. So this was the time where there was staunch belief all throughout, not only this period, but all throughout. There is a staunch belief on Vedas being the scriptures, the most authoritative, the oldest one, and most importantly, that which is not written. That which is not written. How then there are mantras? Mantras are supposed to be discovered by mantra drashta, the seers. They discover these mantras which is already existing in the cosmic plane through their deepest layers of meditation, and hence it is not written, and hence it is called Apaurushaya, and they are being delivered through word of mouth to the students. They learn word by word, syllable by syllable, intonation after intonation, and then make that pronunciation right. And that's how the essence of mantras are being spread. So this is well known. Mahabharata period is that which had the practice of doing more rituals of what do you call yajnas, fire sacrifices, and pujas and upasanas like that, with a strong intent of gaining something. Like, let me give you an example. We learn Mahamrityunjaya mantra. To chant properly, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra will give good vibrations in the house. It will enhance my life strength, the prana. We learn for that objective. Similarly, Mahabharata, in the period of Mahabharata, people used to do Vedic rituals, which is not easy, 5 hours, 6 hours rituals. And they had some manokamana, they had some desire, they had some fruit. Fix it for that worship, for that kind of worship. For example, if you are not able to give birth to a son or a daughter, you have a specific yajna for that. If you're not able to destroy the strongest enemy of your life, you can even do that with the yajnas. But it is an ulterior motive of doing such sacrifice. Anything for that matter. Let me compare the millennial time. how do we practice yoga? When do we practice yoga? Only when we are sick, only when we have a migraine, only when the doctor says, oh, now that you've got enough of medicines, I think you should treat yourself psychologically. Go to a psychiatrist. Then slowly people come and try to maintain the psychological health. They opt yoga. You know? So for any sadhana from the Mahabharata age to this millennial age, people has this ulterior motive of perfecting physical health, perfecting psychological, or just perfecting the house. Am I accomplished? Am I equipped with good assets? Do I have good kids? For such reasons, worships have been, sadhana has been performed. So Krishna, in the previous shloka, was talking about Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, the supremely convinced intellect, the strong, determined intellect that divine will rule my life, that the Almighty has its own course. I'm just a tool. That is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So in 42, 43, 44, he is kind of putting down those people who has desire, intent, strong passion behind doing such sadhanas. Okay. So while he talks about Vedas, and then don't think that he is putting down the Vedas. He is not escalating it down. Vedas are definitely the most authoritative textbook, the oldest one. He is a worshipper of Vedas himself. Vedas are supposed to be the Ishvara's voice, the voice of God. Yet, the minds of the people, it is so polluted that those mantras are, text tortured, broken to ulterior motives. How can I get more cows? Cows are supposed to be the Indian currency in the previous times. So how can I get more cows? If you perform a yajna, you'll get more cows, more prosperity. So that has been in practice. Hence, Krishna is trying to draw a line between perfect sadhana, pure sadhana, and sadhana which is practiced with a state of discontent in your head, in your heart. That's what he's trying to. Okay. So just a word of caution that he is not putting down the Vedas itself. 2.4. Yami mam pushpitam vacham. Yami mam pushpitam vacham. Pravadantya vipaschitaha. Pravadantya vipaschitaha. Vedavadaratav partha. Vedavadaratav partha. Nanyadastiti vadinaha. Nanyadastiti vadinaha. We are taking the next two also. Kamatmanasvargaparaha. Kamatmanasvargaparaha. Janma karma phalapradam. Janma karma phalapradam. Kriya vishesha bahulam. Kriya vishesha bahulam. Bhogaishwaryagatim prati. Bhogaishwaryagatim prati. Bhogaishwaryaprasaktanam. Bhogaishwaryaprasaktanam. Tayapahrita-chetasam. Tayapahrita-chetasam. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Samadhau na vidhiyate. Samadhau na vidhiyate. Yamimam pushpitam vacham prapadanti avipashchitaha. A person who is incapable of perceiving right, he will always speak flowery words. Avipashchitaha. It is so, the first time when I heard this word avipashchitaha, it was so striking that to understand the truth, you need to open your eyes. It is not your naked eyes, it is your inner eye. So the real understanding, the real wisdom is seeing, the act of seeing. In the same manner, Rama also instructs Lakshmana. Athanujam bhrisham anushasya darshanam chakarata priti jananim pradakshinam darshanam anushasya darshanam. After having a long conversation with Lakshmana, who was untiringly speaking at his highest pitch of his voice, and I'm going to make the king, the father, imprison him, make the king tie his hands, and you will be ruling this kingdom. That's what Lakshmana was arguing. But Rama at one point didn't argue. He just showed. Anushasya darshan. He showed what is anushasana, what is discipline. He made him to see darshanam. So real wisdom is darshanam. Real wisdom is perceiving what is right. And for that perception, you need to see from inside, see from within. And those who do not, avipashchitaha, those who do not, they yap a lot. They speak flowery words. They speak words which are enticing. They speak things very high. And the same mouth will speak very low, filthy, shallow. Now here he is, I have taken it to a different direction because I have to talk to a person living in the millennial age. But he is telling that Vedas, which are supposed to be the highest and most sacred, has come down to a state where you are just performing rituals for the only one sake of getting heaven. They start to speak so high that you will get heaven, you will be put in a great, great house, you will accomplish prosperity, all those exalted state of happiness, more importantly being a distraction from the sadhana, shall be done, O Arjuna, but you don't get entangled in such things. That's what his caution is. Pravadanti avipashchitaha veda vadarataha partha nanasiti kaschana vadinaha. So they always speak about Vedas and Vedic rituals being important to secure your heaven. The whole life is just hell heaven concept. It has come down to that. It's a sheer waste. It's a sheer waste. Like a giant wheel, we are living a life, Like you ride on a giant wheel. You come down and then you go up, and there is no up state. You'd come down back. So similarly, you fall down to earth, you go up, take the heaven, and then there is some fruit still unaccomplished. So you have to enjoy those fruits, come back, make that experience happen. So you come down to earth. This is a kind of filthy life we are leading. Coming and going, coming and going. Why is it filthy? Filthy because if there is something called coming, it should be coming happily. But coming involves happiness and sadness both together. How come this sort of life, which is totally impermanent, which is just a gloomy appearance, which is just a shade of ignorance, provide you happiness? How come this kind of life will provide you happiness? With all the riches you have, with all the people you have, there's no eternal happiness. People come and go. No? 15, 20 days ago, I had a woman, the woman of the house. Now she's not there. It's coming and going. When there is everything coming and going, who will provide you happiness? Who will make you happy? Nobody will make you happy. You understanding yourself that there shouldn't be any coming and going. There should be staying at the center, aligning yourself with the truth, and then you find happiness there. There is no word called make me happy. It's completely unreal. He makes me happy. It makes me happy. No. It's completely unreal. Happiness is there. And you just tune yourself into it. Anyways. Kamatmanaha swargaparaha janma karma palaprada kriya vishesha bahulam bhogeshwaryam prati. Now I'm trying to relate to our present world, the same shloka. People who are desire oriented, kamatmanaha. What kinds of desire? It is either power desire or pleasure desire. Desire to gain power, desire to gain pleasure. Now, there's one thing also, fame. Fame is also power. The entire social media thing is about fame and reputation. That is again trying to make you, befool you that you are empowered. My God, you're empowered. Now you have these many followers. So any desire is just two. It is either power hankering or pleasure hungry. Bhogaha aishwaryam. When people who, with their depleted, polluted minds, try to hanker after power and pleasure and do any sort of action with this desire as being the center point, or with this desire as being the initial phase, they will fall. Why? Don't they accomplish actions? Don't they accomplish fruits? Yes. Many times they accomplish the fruits of actions. But just because their initial phase was this desire, they are never happy in accomplishing. Why so? Because in their minds, the degree of accomplishment is 2 million times higher than what they have accomplished in the reality. Hence, the difference in their mind's accomplishment and this real accomplishment is huge, and hence frustrated. I hope you are with me. I hope you understand what I'm saying. When the action starts with desire, that the commencement of action has already told you, proved you that the action will never give you happiness, will never make you settled out, will never make you peaceful. Actions themselves cannot make you peaceful. Because actions are eventually rajas, Rajas means intense passion, intense action. Rajas cannot make you peace. Then why do I have to act? Why is that Vedas are giving rituals to perform? Why do I have to do puja? Why do I have to do upasana? Why do I have to worship? The point behind doing all these yajnas, upasanas, pujas, fire sacrifices, sadhanas, yoga, whatever you call it as. The point behind doing such actions is to transcend them. This is the beauty and the essence of Sanatana Dharma. And Sanatana Dharma provides prescribes certain rituals, prescribes certain duties to do Nitya Karma every day, Naimittika Karma, monthlies, in seasonal wise. This is what you have to do. Why? By doing so, slowly you will attain mental purity. By doing so, slowly you will transcend these actions and get aligned with the self. No more desire will be the initial phase of your action. Otherwise, if you don't do such actions, prescribed actions, what happens? It is so natural. Okay, if I'm making food, for that matter, the point behind making the food itself is that, oh, this should be relished by my kids. This should be relished by all the family. This should be relished by my boyfriend. And then the boyfriend fails to give an appreciative remark after having tasted it. You get super weird. He has no clue why you are behaving like this. Why so? Because the initial phase of your cooking action was a desire. There is the problem. So what to do, ma'am? What to do, Lalita? Try to replace the initial phase of action. There should be something, no, as the initial phase. Try to replace it. If there is desire, kill the desire and then try to replace surrender. Let surrender be the initial phase of your action. What happens when you suddenly recognize that your parent is unhealthy? You're a doctor yourself. You don't believe in your medicinal wisdom. You eventually go to a doctor. As simple as that. He can be anyone. Ayurvedic doctor, can be a homeopathy, can be an allopathy, can be a cardiologist, whatever. Why? You don't trust yourself? No. The point behind that is only when I report something, only when I rebuke all my actions, there would be something good happening. If it is to happen to my father, if it has happened to my mother, I have to go and talk to a doctor. Right? In spite of all those things, all those informations I knew, I'll keep that all aside. I'll first call my friend doctor, even if I'm a doctor. What do you say? Huh? Why do we do this? We really want good thing to happen to our parents, right? If you really want good fruit of actions or peaceful attitude at the end of the action, replace desire with the surrender attitude. You mean to say I have to act foolish? I have to act stupid? Who said surrender is an act of stupidity? Who gave you that wrong impression in your head? Let me give you another example. You tell me what is wisdom, what is wise, what is smart. You board a plane and the flight in charge says this is his first flight. What do? You become anxious. Every now and then want to check cockpit whether he is driving or just smoking or has slept or not. Or just relax, chill, and have trust in that unknown stranger that he has done his flying hours good. He has learned it's better, and hence he's on a commercial plane. What will you do? What is acting smarter? Will you enjoy your plane journey or get anxious or fearful? Similarly, I'm not saying you to surrender to n number of people around. That is completely foolishness. That is complete foolishness. But you can surrender to the most powerful, the great, the omnipresent. You don't believe, you believe in energy? You do, yes. And surrender to the universal energy. Surrender to the universe. I am starting this action. Let this action spring into number of actions put together and benefit more and more people. I surrender unto you, my Lord, and bless me for this action. How is that sounding? Okay. What happens when the action fails? You're happy, yeah, because that is how it has to turn into. I was supposed to be in Romania in September. Huh? See what had happened? That is how he had designed. When the plan has been designed by the Almighty, that is the most good for you, I can tell you. We know that, we verbally speak, but we don't realize. We always crib with the situations that we are into, not knowing that this is the greatest blessing. People out there, many people out there are in terrible situations, more terrible than anything. There's fire all along in the other nations, fire inside the nation. There's so many things happening. But still, not losing your stability, you're still able to see the sunshine in the morning. You're still be able to work in the farm. Isn't that a great blessing? Hence, kamatmanha. We have to stop being desireful. Desire is the root cause of sorrow. It's not Buddha, but it has been before Buddha that this fact was being revealed. And desire is the root cause of sorrow. Krishna even goes a bit beyond. Now, what is the initial phase of desire? Why is he desiring? Why is the mind wanting the want? Why is it needful? He says attraction. So he says, work on the attraction phase. Why are you attracted to so much of pleasures? When it can't make you peaceful, when it can't make you happy. Work there, he says. That's the beginning phase of the desire. Work on that root cause of the root cause. Kamatmanaha swargaparaha janma karma phalapradam. They our highest desire will be this. Okay, even when I die, I should be in the pleasant state. Oh my God, you don't have a body. It's okay. But still, I shouldn't be in hell. I shouldn't be fried in oil. I shouldn't be stomped by mammoths. Even though you don't have a form, you're worried about your soul, my dear. See, the highest degree of desire is having a heaven after death. Krishna says this is stupidity. You are doing actions not because you should get heaven. You are doing actions just because you should transcend those actions, he says. Janma karma phalapradam. All these actions will turn into such that you will get another birth. Again, full of actions. Again, full of desires. Again, the dirty, filthy disease, so old age, disease, and death. And then again, the same thing. So you are in a bad cycle. So first of all, get out of the cycle, remove the desire, remove the attraction, he says. And don't Bhogeshwaryam Prati. Don't fall for indulgence and opulence. Bhoga means indulgence. When you indulge your sense organ with the sense object, that's it. There is an impression formed. There's a karma formed inside already. And when you fall for prosperity, when you fall for opulence, again, there is another impression that has been falling on your mind. Which means people used to ask, why is that we should not fall for prosperity? Why is that we should not, should we be poor? Should we not have our life? Should we not enjoy? Should we not go and listen to music like Bollywood music? Going around. So my niece is cooking and she wants to have some music along with the cooking. Nothing wrong. But it so happens that without music, what happens? You become bored. You become sunken. You become lonely. You don't feel like cooking. Such things happen. There is a dependence created all the time when you indulge. When you say you're a woman, you are educated, you want to work, you want to stand on your own legs, you have to eat your own food, you have to pay for your food. When you want such independence, we had an Independence Day a few days ago, 15th August. When you want yourself independent, why are you getting entangled with your own sense organs? It does not mean that you don't listen to music. It does not mean you don't watch films. It does not mean you don't go out, chit chat with your friends. But what happens when you don't get any? Like in COVID period. Have you become crazy? Have you lost it? Then it has seriously influenced your system. That kind of dependence is just like an addiction. I'm just so unhappy about one thing in Romania, that every 1 in 3 people were smoking. Another class in Targumuresh, there was a break between 2 yoga sessions. I saw people coming down after good shavasana, remarking how restful, how peaceful it was. And then coming down and go for a smoke. My God. I don't understand. We are polluting our mind, polluting the lungs, and just that pleasure, which means we have totally smothered the intellect, totally destroyed, killed the intellect. And even if I get cancer, it's okay. Even if my lungs are weakened with pleurisy, with the inflammation in the pleural membrane, it's okay. I will smoke because it is giving me pleasure. Now, do you understand what kind of pleasure ruling sense organ this is? What kind of situation? These sense organs are ruling our own system. Hence, everything should be minimal. But with millennial people, this is the problem. Everything is extravaganza. You get pizza, it is always extravaganza. You get something, you get an offer, discount, it has to be an extravaganza. Everything has to be high. Everything has to be large. Everything has to be pompous. So you are making a vicious pattern in your head that this is how I'll deplete my energy, this is how I lose my control, this is how you can dominate me, oh mind, oh sense organ, whatever it is, whichever it is. What happens? What should be done when mind is being dominated by us? What can be done for mastering this mind? Calm down the mind. Pacify the sense organs. How will you pacify a fire, a piece of fire? By putting oil in it, by putting some rice into it. How will you do it? By giving an opposite element, right? Putting some water into it. You pacify your sense organs not by accomplishing its desires, not by listening to what sense organs want, but by giving the opposite to it, but by not giving it. Not giving it. I used to advise these parents, vitamin N is very important to kids. What is vitamin N, madam? I know about B6. Oh my God, there are so many vitamins. We are talking about new vitamin. Is it being discovered by someone? I didn't know. Let me Google. Let me Wikipedia it. I said, you don't have to. It is just saying no. No to things. When a child gets nothing, when a child gets less of things, slowly he grooms. Similarly, our mind, our sense organs are like kids. When you don't provide a sumptuous care or luxury to that, you are more grooming, you're more growing. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhauna vidhiyate. When you are indulged into indulgence, when you are completely dominated by indulgence and opulence, bhoga, aishwarya, prosperity and experiencing is good, I should experience pleasure, such kind of attitude, when you are always unto it, you can never hold, that weak intellect can never hold supremely convinced intellect. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, what we were discussing in the last class, which is the most vital in sadhana, most vital thing. Nischayatmika buddhi, that which is determined that this world is impermanent. Come what may, all the actions have to be centered into the center, aligned with the self, aligned with the divine. And these actions, these primordial material actions have that as the base. So such Nischayatmika buddhi, such supremely convinced intellect in the divine force will not be there. If you are into constantly after pleasure, constantly after prosperity, it will not be there. It will get weakened. Samadhauna vidhiyate, it will never be restful. It cannot obtain samadhi, it cannot be peaceful. You know what? The greatest irony of life, only when you are on the bed and not able to move, you get to realize that I only want peace in life. Blessed are those who had understood, recognized it from deep within, not superficially. That peace is the only thing that we want in life. Much before than being on bed. Much before, while breathing, while standing, while talking to people. It's the greatest irony. It is the greatest pity. Both together. Questions?